Hello and welcome to this video review of two new products from MOZA. Now MOZA is a company that you might not have heard of before. They're a Chinese company that's a relative newcomer to the sim racing space, but they're going in straight to the top and challenging the likes of Fanatec by releasing their own direct drive steering wheel, and that's what we're going to look at today. Crikey. It's shaking the whole room. Now, if you're familiar with sim racing at all, you probably know about force feedback wheels, where if you let go of it, the wheel actually moves on its own. And this is usually done with a belt-driven system, where there's a motor and a belt that transfers the forces to your hands to push or pull you as you turn. Well, direct drive wheels actually remove the belt and directly attach you to the motor, so you get higher fidelity force feedback and much stronger resistance as well. And I do mean really strong. If you followed my channel before, you'll know that I actually tried Fanatec's direct drive racing wheel, and I gotta say, your thumbs are in danger if you crash. It's really hard. And I've also enjoyed Fanatec's belt-driven system as well, which I reviewed very strongly. I thought it was a fantastic system. So MOZA has got a lot to live up to if it's going to challenge Fanatec in this space. Well, the company MOZA has very kindly sent me two products to review. One of these is the GS wheel and the R9 base. And I'm going to unbox them on camera, so we'll see what's inside, and then I'm going to set them up and try them out and let you know what I think. So let's get to it. I'm going to turn around. The first one we have then is this GS steering wheel, and that is an F1 style wheel which looks really good. Looks like it's going to have lights at the top here, presumably to show the revs. So let's open it up. Slowly. So inside, here's what I'm met with. We've got push it to the limit, MOZA GS steering wheel, and then there's a bag inside, which has obviously got the wheel itself in it. It smells new. Always like the smell of new technology. Wow, oh my word. Well, that really looks and feels premium. That's really, really lovely. It's got really rugged, professional feeling gear shifters, paddles, and then you've got analog clutch here as well, clutch pedals. I believe there's a quick release system, and we've got an analog stick here, which feels actually a bit better than Fanatec's, I've got to say. Different things here, brake balance and your ERS, and then fuel map, it's set to 1, and it goes around from green through amber to red. That's very nice. Got a turbo, traction control, and even differential. So this really is a proper simulation piece of equipment. So it's not just for those who hold accelerate. You also got anti-lock braking system settings at the bottom. It's heavy, it feels heavy, and the buttons all fit really nicely under my fingers here, under my thumbs. It's quite a stretch to get to S1 and S2, but overall I think that's fantastic. It's also got a second stick over here, so 2 analog sticks, which is interesting because I don't see a D-pad. Yeah, very strange. But it's good. I like it. Also comes with stickers, and there's loads of stickers here. So you can have the DRS, or the camera, or the start button, or clutch, PDS, traction control, pause, boost, and HB. So you can choose what you want each button to be when you map your controls, but it will still say it on your wheel because you've got the stickers. That's a really nice touch. The instruction booklet is quite small, and actually quite a lot of it is in Chinese, but we do have English here. Yes, we do. 300mm standard size of GT wheel, forged carbon fibre framework and paddle. Magnetic absorption sequential paddles with photoelectric sensor spring dual clutch paddles with photoelectric sensor. So this really is cutting edge technology, and it feels like it too. Last thing we have in the box is an Allen key, a standard hexagonal Allen key, but It also comes with what looks like a bit of double-sided sticky tape, presumably so you can stick it to your wheel and not lose it, but we'll see when we set it up. That brings us to box number 2. Here it is. This one's much heavier, so this must be the servo. Now I don't believe they've actually sent me pedals. I think we're just doing the servo base and the steering wheel. But MOZA do offer their own pedals on their site. We're in. Oh, that was heavy. Right, yeah, this really is heavy. Okay, here we go then. That's the R9 direct drive wheelbase, and it really looks the part. We've got some more stickers. It just says MOZA Racing in different colours and different sizes, which you can probably put all over your own car or something, I don't know. And there's a user manual, which again is half in Chinese and half in English. 9nm golden torque is one of the product features. There's an installation tutorial. Fix the R9 base to the simulator bracket through the 4 screw holes at the bottom. Desktop clamping device will be provided later. So this doesn't come with a clamping device. I'm going to have to screw it on, but we'll see when we come to that. Standard UK kettle connector. Yep, that's USB cable. Just standard. It's the one that goes into a printer. A larger Allen key and 4 screws. That's what the instructions were just talking about. That's a big power brick. And then we've actually got the servo itself, which is what is so heavy in here. Goodness me. It's a beast. Crikey. There it is. It's very heavy. You really could do weightlifting with that. That is a monster of a servo, but it's small. Surprisingly small. I suppose that's because it doesn't need to have room for that belt drive. It's just going straight into your hands. And presumably it will just clip straight in. It's got MOZA written on the sides across these, well, it looks like it's grills, but there's no hole behind it. In fact, I can't see any method of cooling. The unit appears to be completely sealed, which really surprises me because it's probably going to make quite a lot of heat. But it is small and it feels cold to the touch, so maybe the energy dissipation is actually pretty good anyway. We've got a little socket here for meter, it says, M-E-T-E-R. Presumably that's for the extra accessory you can get that has a meter for your tachometer, things like that, dashboard readout that sits on the top that's not been provided for my review. And DC input and a power button. Click power button to turn on. That's pretty straightforward, so I think we should set it up and have a go, don't you? The wheel doesn't come with a clamp, so I actually had to contact MOZA again, who kindly sent me a desk clamp which would work with my admittedly rather old Game Racer Pro racing seat. Putting it all together was very easy. Most of the clamp could be fitted by hand and the rest with the included Allen key, and then I was all set up and ready to rock. I downloaded the MOZA Pit House desktop app, which has its terms and conditions written in Chinese, which is far from ideal, but the app itself works really well. I was instantly able to see the wheel appear and note that it wasn't centered, though there's a single button that allows you to center your wheel and then it's ready. There's also another single button to install any updates available for the wheel or wheelbase, and all of this is done in just a few minutes. Nice and easy. What isn't quite so easy is getting the wheel to work with games. There's actually a calibration button within the Pit House app that configures the wheel for any compatible game that the app can find on your hard drive, which can then be launched from within the app itself, which is a nice touch. F1 2021 subsequently recognises the MOZA wheelbase before asking you to map the controls one by one. I didn't realise at first that you had to turn the wheel left and then recenter it, and then do the same for right, in order to get left and right to work on the track. But having done that, it did work perfectly. The force feedback works. Oh, it's strong. Wow. Wow. Oh, crikey. So let's watch a bit of gameplay now with the wheel on F1 2021. A little bit of throttle. There we go. Back out. 4th gear, 5th gear, 6th gear, 7th gear, 8th gear, and oh yes, good. Okay, delta's up, delta's up. Fastest part to turn through, Slow down, slow down. Get it in. Go, 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 go. Yes. That was nice. 0.6 of a second up now. Down the hanger straight. Down to fourth gear. Keep it in. Good. Accelerates. Lovely. A bit too high on the revs. And second gear. That's better. That's better. Second, fourth, fifth. Get it in. That's a nice lap. Alright, let's do one more. We're going to take this first corner flat out. No. Yes.
4 laps of fuel remaining.
Oh, that's good. Oh, it wasn't the ideal line through there. Oh, he spun. Oh, and it went light. Force feedback went light. Wow, that was absolutely brilliant. Really enjoyed that. Oh. Not having any pedals with this review sample, I had to map accelerate and brake to the right and left clutch paddles respectively, with the clutch itself assigned elsewhere. Okay, down to first, put my hand up around here. Accidentally went into second gear, but I did get round it. But that was enough to get me started, and then I had plenty of fun. 8th gear. Yes. Wow, this is awesome. The wheel feels superb in use, ultra solid, and the steering is beautifully progressive. It took me a few laps to get used to accelerating and braking with my hands because I've never done that before, well, not since the days of the Sega Saturn, and it's not easy to do when you've got manual gears on the paddle shift too, because you're using 2 fingers to accelerate and the other 2 to change gear. But it wasn't long before I was posting decent times. This particular wheel rim is designed to be like an F1 car's, and it was really cool to see that the game recognised mapping for the selector knobs in the centre of the wheel itself. So you can adjust everything on the fly, from traction control through to brake balance, using this wheel, and you can even push a pit radio button just like a real driver. Now there is one further note of consternation, and that's that this wheel only works with PC. The Fanatec one that I reviewed actually works as a universal wheel base. You do need a different steering wheel rim for Xbox or PlayStation, but the MOZA devices at present only work with PC, so you won't be able to use them on a console. But what about that force feedback? Well, honestly, it's tremendous. To say it's a physical experience is doing it a disservice. Look. Wow, I really felt that curve. And this level of physical interaction with the game makes for some amazing moments. As you can see, I had a really good time, but it is difficult to review a sim racing rig when you haven't got any pedals. But I am nonetheless extremely impressed with the build quality of this unit. So to the scores. They are 2 separate products, of course, so they each get their own score. I think the R9 direct drive wheelbase is fantastic. Starting at $439 US, it's punching well above its weight in terms of what you get for your money. It's small, attractive, incredibly powerful, and genuinely makes you feel like you're clattering over real curbs in a racing car. There are some small criticisms. Although it doesn't come with any pedals, if you do get pedals, you can't connect them to the wheelbase itself. It doesn't have a connection on the back, so you'll have to connect it to your PC through another USB connection. I also feel the same way about the lack of console compatibility. It would have been nice, sure, but this is a PC peripheral and has never pretended to be anything else, so I don't think that can be held against it either. While it took a long time to get it working with F1 2021 and even longer with R Factor 2, it did work very well in the end. And I do find that it's true of most PC peripherals that they take a bit of persuading, so I'll cut it some slack for that. I give the MOZA R9 wheelbase a very well-earned 5 out of 5. It's a great product at a superb price. As for the GS steering wheel, it's clearly a very high quality wheel. Despite that premium build quality, there are only backlit buttons and a light up RPM strip rather than a built-in digital display like some of Fanatec's rims. You can of course buy a separate dashboard display module for another $299 US, but you will probably want pedals too, which is already another $499 US, so some people will likely make do with the LEDs. Judged purely on its own merits and not in terms of what else you need to buy around it, the wheel isn't as flawless as the wheelbase. The gear shift paddles are very noisy, and I don't think it's as satisfying to change gear with them as it perhaps should be, though I do feel like they'll last forever, they are that rugged. The wheel is ergonomically beautiful, very comfortable to hold, has all the knobs and buttons you need for modern motorsport, and the quick release mechanism is built in and works superbly. It's a fantastic thing to look at, to hold and to use, but £5,000 is so much money, so I give the GS steering wheel 4 out of 5 stars. Well, that's all for this video. Please check out my recent review of the 10.5-inch HDMI and USB-C monitor from Andesign, as well as my older review of a Fanatec wheel and pedal set. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.